Hello everyone, welcome to Webb's weekly movie musical suggestion. Have you ever been in the middle of a project and you've had it all planned out, you knew where you were heading, had a great plan and a great idea of what you were going to do, and then in the middle of it, you think, nope, this is not working and I've got to change, and you've got to change the scope of the whole project and where you're headed and all that kind of stuff? Well, that's the story behind this week's movie musical suggestion. Last week, April 23rd, was the 404th anniversary of the death of probably the greatest poet and playwright of the English language, William Shakespeare. It's also considered his birthday. Now, we don't know exactly when he was born because the church at the time didn't keep that kind of record. They only kept record of his christening date, which at the time they made sure was always done within a day or two or three of the birthday of the infant, because the infant mortality rate was so high 400 years ago, they wanted to make sure they were at least christened before the possibility of them dying. So it's generally considered that April 23rd is both Shakespeare's birthday and his death day. Now, there have been several of Shakespeare's plays that have been taken and changed into musicals, from Taming of the Shrew to Kiss Me Kate, from Twelfth Night to All Shook Up, which was our musical 2 years ago. Now, this week's movie musical suggestion takes Shakespeare's story of two families in a huge blood feud fighting. Now, when they'd meet each other on the street, it wasn't just yelling insults at each other or saying bad words and things like that. It was down and dirty, dragged out fights, swords out, people dying in the streets. The crew that took this play, they wanted to take it and just update it to current day, and so they thought what would be a great background for this family strife would be to take Catholic families in New York and against Jewish families in New York. And as they went through building the show and planning it, they found that this conflict wasn't enough to drive the type of story they wanted to tell. So they had to stop in the middle of the project, go back, rethink it, and start over again. They came up with the idea that instead of religious strife, it became gang warfare. And so you had the European immigrant gangs against the Hispanic Puerto Rican gangs in New York, fighting against each other, all this strife and conflict, and that there were two lovers, star-crossed lovers, that changed the history and story of this community. This week's movie musical suggestion, in honor of the Multicultural Week we're celebrating at school this week, as well as Shakespeare's birthday and death day, is West Side Story, whose original working title was East Side Story. It's available on almost every single digital platform you can think of, from YouTube to Hulu to Vudu and Amazon Prime. Enjoy.